In today's world, artificial intelligence is transforming the way we live, work, and interact. However, as AI becomes more integrated into our daily lives, it raises important ethical considerations that we must address to ensure its positive impact on both society and individuals. My name is Adam, and this is AI Simplified. What is AI ethics? At its core, AI ethics refers to the study and implementation of ethical principles in the design and application of AI systems. Now, whether that's through ChatGPT, through the programming of robotics, etc., all of that falls into this kind of realm, right? When you look at robotics, for example, inside of the robotic code of ethics, right, rule number 1 is that no robot shall ever harm a human. Specifically within the programming to block that kind of behavior, even in the self-learning models that we program them specifically to ensure that no harm comes to humans for that. Obviously, with the military and whatnot, there's exceptions to that, but that's kind of the core system behind it, right? As AI technology continues to evolve, it's crucial to examine its implications on fairness, privacy, transparency, and accountability. Right? So companies using AI, the ethical side of that, the bias side of that, it's important that we explore that really in depth through the entirety of using those AI tools, right? I always say in all of my videos that you want to have it 80% AI, 20% human, right? You want to make sure that you still introduce that human aspect to it to be able to ensure that ethics are followed. Because again, AI is just pattern recognition, right? Whether it's a recommendation system on a shopping platform or AI-powered medical diagnostics, ethical concerns shape how we trust and use these technologies. There's a lot of fear in the world. It's unknown technology, so people are scared of it. The important thing is, at the end of the day, that as long as we do our due diligence as consumers to communicate with these companies, and as long as the companies do their due diligence to look after their consumers, everybody will be okay. Let's talk about the impacts on society, right? AI has the power to literally reshape society, but it also brings challenges, right? One key concern is the potential for bias in decision-making systems, such as hiring algorithms or criminal justice applications. So a lot of companies now will tie AI, whether it's into Indeed or into Monster, like that job sourcing software, right? We'll tie that in, and AI will read over your resume, read through things, and automatically sort you based on relevant job experience. Now, people are worried about that because it removes the human aspect of it, but it's why it's important to educate on those, because then we can structure resumes, we can structure our content that we send off to these companies better. How do we do that? Well, specifics to the company itself. Make things easy for the AI to recognize, like work experience, a certain term, 1 to 2 bullet points of key relevant work experience. Don't overwhelm it, because then the system has too much to try to sort through. Keep it simple, right? These systems can inadvertently perpetuate existing inequalities if not carefully monitored. Additionally, of course, AI's ability to collect vast amounts of data raises privacy concerns, with personal information potentially being used without consent or awareness. Now, I have talked about this previously. I will continue to talk about this. What you share with AI, the same way of what you put into the internet, is very important. What you post into the ether, a lot of people don't really think about the implications of that, but look at the current landscape of jobs and whatnot. How many news stories have you heard about people losing a job over a tweet or losing a job over a photo posted on Facebook, right? Like, all of these employers, all of these people can see these things. You look at cancel culture, right? The behavior of some of these people, of what they post online. Like, what you post has always been important, but now, especially more than ever, it's incredibly important, because as soon as it goes onto the internet, that's public domain. right? And that's going to be pulled by AI. That's going to be used by AI, right? I mean, and then lastly, the widespread adoption of AI and automation poses a risk of job displacement, impacting livelihoods in industries that rely on human labor. Now, I talked about this in one of my previous videos, but I wanted to kind of reiterate it here when it comes to the ethics and whatnot, right? It's not necessarily going to replace people, but it is going to change the landscape of employment, change the landscape of most of these companies, in that your job will no longer necessarily be packing boxes, but it may be monitoring the system that packs the boxes, right? It really removes the repetitive tasks. I will say that. So if you work in the labor, specifically, like those manual labor types of jobs, of sorting, of a packaging firm, a shipping warehouse, right? Yeah, your jobs may be in danger realistically, because a lot of these companies are going to look at their bottom line, and in terms of cost and whatnot, they're going to put the human aspect of it to the side, right? They're going to look at it as what's going to be the most cost effective way for me to operate my business. And a big part of that is AI, automation, right? Like, it's just another stage, realistically, in evolution in the workforce, in the work world, that everybody needs to get on board with. Let's talk about the impacts on individuals. Okay. On a personal level, AI is changing how we interact with technology. AI can provide personalized experiences, such as tailored recommendations and smarter home devices. You look at Google Home, you look at Amazon Alexa, you look at Siri, you look at any of these, right? All of these tied into these systems like Spotify, Netflix, etc. They're all personalized recommendations. They recognize patterns, right? That's the big thing with AI that a lot of people struggle to realize, is that it's not a person, obviously, right? But it's incredibly good at pattern recognition. It's programmed because of that, right? When you look at the ML, the machine learning of it, the core concept of that is pattern recognition and learning how to build from that, right? Now, however, these personalized services often come at the cost of data privacy, right? AI's role in healthcare, while offering advanced solution, also introduces ethical concerns about patient data security and the accuracy of AI diagnosis. So, for the average person, not really a big deal. But when you are in the medical field, when you do look down that scope, it's why I always tell people that AI will never fully replace humans, because of the accuracy of it. You're able to speed up the process, automate it to a degree, but there will always have to be a person at the helm running this kind of stuff for at least the foreseeable future, right? We're talking maybe 20, 30, 40 years down the road, right? Furthermore, AI-powered surveillance systems raise concerns about individual freedoms and the potential for misuse of personal data. When we talk about freedoms and the misuse of this data, again, you have to remember that when you're uploading this kind of stuff, when you accept these systems, security systems and whatnot, like, there's documentation, right? It's accepting the user agreements of it. It's all this kind of stuff. And the fact that some people that are doing this don't think that this is already the case for the most part. Like, I mean, you walk into a Walmart and your face is on camera, right? The facial recognition, you're already in a database. You're already in that cloud, and therefore on the internet. If you've ever uploaded a picture on Facebook, if any of your friends have uploaded a picture on social media, like, you're already out there. So when people are worried about the ethics of that, I wouldn't concern yourself with that too much. Sure, it's a thought process behind it, but I'm more so filming this video to discuss both sides, to try to play both sides of it, right? Is that like I can see people's concern for certain categories, but for the misuse of it and whatnot, like I just don't see that being a reality. The role of developers and policymakers. So when we talk about the ethics, this is the most important because these are the people making the rules for these companies to follow. This is essentially the main line of defense between ethical and non-ethical practices with AI, right? Developers and policymakers have a critical role in ensuring that AI is used ethically, right? The devs must design AI systems that are transparent, fair, and free from bias while also considering the long-term societal effects of their creations. Okay, so in terms of being free from bias, that's difficult because, like I said, they're pattern recognition, right? And they pull from the data on the internet that already exists, right? AI does not necessarily form new thoughts. They build existing thoughts and restructure them to seem like new thoughts, right? It's an old adage that like the world's been around long enough that there's no such thing as an original thought. There's just new people having the same thoughts, right? It's the same kind of thing here. So there's going to be bias. It's up to you when you utilize AI tools to introduce that human aspect to it. But when we talk about the long-term societal effects of it, this is a major talking point that needs to be considered more because this impacts the ripple effect potentially of these types of impacts are major. It's definitely something that needs to be looked at for sure, right? Policymakers must implement regulations that ensure accountability and protect individuals' rights, promoting ethical standards and public trust in AI technologies. People are scared of change. It's literally human nature, right? Humans are creatures of habit. So when we look at new technology, when we look at these new tools like AI, it's important that the people crafting them, the people talking about them, the tools themselves are as transparent and honest as they can be. It's how you get the masses on board with something, right? Is that transparency? Is that honesty? Is that integrity? All those kind of things. Is that humans are more likely to trust good ethics, right? It's just human nature at that point. So as long as these companies structure these things properly, run these things properly, go through all of this stuff properly, I don't really see a negative side to AI, right? When we look at the ethics side of things. Now, there's the environmental side of things. Utilizing this technology, it must have some sort of impact on the electrical grid, et cetera, et cetera. That's a video or a conversation for a different day. Today, it's really just the societal impact, both as a mass impact and an individual impact. In conclusion, ethical AI is essential for a future where technology benefits all. As AI continues to evolve, it's vital that we carefully navigate these ethical challenges to protect both individuals and society as we know it. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly for the greater good. You are in control of your own life, regardless of the world around you. AI is not going away. Every day, there's new tools. Every day, there's further integration. I encourage everyone through my channel, through other channels, whatever it ends up being that makes it easiest for you, educate yourself, simplify things, really grab hold and go for it. This has been Adam with AI Simplified. We'll catch you in the next one.